Hello class. We've talked about sections 3.3 and 3.4 quite a bit in class, so I'm just going to do a couple problems to highlight it. So I'm going to start with a long division problem from section 3.3. I'm looking at the 3.3 handout and I'm going to do number 4. Okay, so remember, what we do is we just look at the first term of the divisor and the first term of the dividend, the thing we're dividing into. And we say, what could I put it here to multiply times 2x to get exactly 2x to the fourth? Well, how about x to the third? So now I do the multiplication. X to the third times 2x would give me 2x to the fourth. But don't forget to multiply by the other piece. X to the third times 5 would be plus 5x to the third. Okay, now, remember, the next thing you do is subtract. So when we subtract, let's see, let me get my red subtracting pen. This will become minus and a minus like that. So that's subtraction. And I'll be left with 4x to the third. And this first term of 2x to the fourth should always subtract out. If it didn't, it means the number, or whatever you put up here, the expression, was wrong. So go back and try again. Now let's bring down the next term. Minus 12x squared. Okay. And now what can I multiply by 2x to get exactly 4x to the third? Well, how about positive 2x squared? Okay, so now let's do the multiplication. 4x to the third and times the second piece plus 10x squared. And now I'm going to subtract. I'm going to get negative 22x squared. And I bring down the next term, which in this case would be negative 79x. And again, I ask, what times 2x will give me exactly negative 22x squared? Well, how about negative 11x? Negative 11x. So let's multiply. I'll get negative 22x squared minus 55x. Okay, this time when I subtract, minus and negative changes to plus, and I get negative 24x. Now I bring down my last term, which you can't see anymore, is negative 60. And then I ask myself again, what times 2x would give me exactly negative 24x? Well, how about negative 2? Okay, so I go negative 2 times 2x will give me negative 24x. How about negative 12? Oh my word. Okay. How about negative 12? That's a 12, I swear. Okay. And negative 12 times 5 is negative 60. And again, when I subtract a negative, it will turn into adding a positive, and I get 0 for remainder. So my answer, my final answer to this question is x to the third plus 12x squared minus 11x minus 12. Okay, so that's long division. Okay, next we did some synthetic division practice, and I'm not going to show any of that because we're going to do it in the context of another problem. So I am now looking at number 8. Okay, so we're looking at the 3.3 handout. I'm looking at number 8, and number 8 gives us, well, let's just look at it. Let's see. Number 8, I think we'll zoom in just a smidge on this one, maybe. Okay, I guess not. All right, it says use synthetic division and the remainder theorem to find the indicated function value. Okay, so remember the remainder theorem says instead of, so here they give us a function they called f. It's a nice fourth degree polynomial. And they're asking to find f of negative 2. So remember, this means that the x value is negative 2, and normally I would take x equals negative 2 and plug it in, right? And then do order of operations and do the math and get an answer. Well, instead, the remainder theorem says, well, if I do synthetic division with the x, then the remainder is the same as the answer I would have gotten if I plugged the x in. That's what the remainder theorem says. It says do division. It doesn't even have to be synthetic. It could be long division, but do the division, and whatever you get for the remainder is the answer to f of negative 2. Okay, if you want to know why, you should be a math major. Okay, all right, so I'm going to use synthetic division. So I put my little negative 2 in my little synthetic division box, and I list my coefficients. 1, 4, 8, negative 5, and 3. Okay, let's make the line. Bring the 1 down. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Add down, I get 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Add down, I get 4. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Add down, I get negative 13. Negative 2 times negative 13 is positive 26. Add down, I get 29. And so what that's telling me, remember that last number is the remainder, is I now know that f of negative 2 is equal to 29. In other words, when x equals negative 2, y, or the output value, equals 29. And that's a lot faster than doing the math. Okay, let's do the same thing for number 9. I know you guys hate 9 because of the fractions, not because of the division. But you have to practice with fractions. Okay, let's do the same thing. I'll put the negative 1/2 in the box. And I'm going to list my coefficients. Okay, 1, 4, negative 6, negative 4, and negative 9. Okay, I'm going to leave some space, some extra space for myself, some space to change each of these numbers to have the correct denominator as I'm doing the math. Okay, so I bring the 1 straight down. Okay, let's see. There, that's a better view for you guys. Negative 1/2 times 1 is negative 1/2. Now, instead of 4, I'm going to think about 4 as being 8 over 2. 8 over 2 minus a half is 7 over 2. 7 halves. Okay, now multiply. Negative 1/2 times 7 over 2 is negative 7 over 4. Oh, I forgot to leave my space. Phooey. Okay, so we'll do this one on our heads. Negative 6, instead of thinking of it as negative 6, I'm going to think about it as negative 24 over 4. Because 6 times 4 is 24. Negative 24 over 4 minus 7 over 4 would be negative 31 over 4. Okay? Now, in the next step, I'm going to leave my room, I promise. Negative 1/2 times negative 31 fourths is positive 31 over 8. 31 over 8. Okay? And now, instead of thinking of negative 4 as negative 4, I'm going to think about it as a denominator with 8. So that would be negative 32, right? Okay. So negative 32 eighths plus 31 eighths is negative 1/8. Now I multiply. Negative 1/2 times negative 1/8 is positive 1/16. And I'm not even going to get 9 to have a denominator of 16. I could if I wanted to, but 1/16 is kind of a nice number. So if I'm thinking of the number line, imagine yourself at negative 9, back up 1/16. Aren't you just at negative 8 and 15/16? Okay, so that's our answer. And what does that mean? Remember, there's our remainder. That means that for this given polynomial function, f of negative 1/2 is equal to negative 8 and 15/16. Okay? Excellent. Let's pause and we'll do the next couple problems.